Delfina, opening up in 1998, which was very cool. Two people that I'd kind of seen grow up and meet and start their life together were all of a sudden doing a very cool Italian restaurant.
He walked us down three doors down from by right, and there was this little Brazilian cafe, and there was a note taped inside the window of the restaurant. It said, "Restaurant for sale. Call Valmore."
A day after we signed, the bank loan that we thought we were gonna get fell through. We literally applied to about 17 banks, got turned down. We had no collateral. So finally, we were able to secure a small SBA loan. We stripped the tile off the floors and just were there every day doing it, and opened a few months later. You know, when we showed friends this space, most of them thought we were crazy and said, "Oh, those poor kids, they have no idea what they're getting themselves into." Like, they thought it was not a good idea to open there.
I remember her running out, and I remember being seated in the window. You know, it was so small. It was so tiny.
Absolutely remember seeing Craig in his chef's jacket talking to people throughout and connecting with people, and I thought, oh my God, how cool to be a regular here.
So we didn't have any money when we opened, so we couldn't afford to have soundproofing or a waiting area or even storage. We were packed from the day we opened, which was amazing. And so we were able to have a little bit of money in the bank, and then we got a loan from the Mission Economic Development to expand. So they lent us money so that we could expand to the place next door. It was a little novelty shop, kind of a junk shop, but
It was a thrift store.
it was a thrift store, yeah. So we got the money and then we expanded, so we were able to afford heat and some soundproofing and some storage, a little bit of a waiting area.
We hired an architect whose work we really had seen in the city and really liked, and Douglas Burnham is the principal, and became a friend. And we really hit it off. We've used them, envelope architecture
20
and
years.
design for all of our projects in our house. Together we more than doubled the size, right?
Yeah, we went from 32 seats to 75 seats.
But, you know, having heat was really helpful.
And a waiting area. It was nice. It was great.
A bathroom that you didn't have to walk through the dish pit to get to was nice. Hardwood floors, you know, so it was, You know, we turned it into a restaurant that, you know, a much more functional restaurant.
In San Francisco dining, I think the food scene in San Francisco would not be the same without Delfina. I think it's had a huge impact on how people cook. Craig has trained some amazing people who are in San Francisco and out of even California now, blazing their own trails because of what they learned from Craig.
The food is also exceptional.
Innovative Italian but California cuisine.
The Del Campo salad.
Salad with the bitter greens.
It's the ensalada del campo.
I get the chicken every time. It's like the best chicken.
I always love the chicken. Delicious, succulent.
The chicken.
You're obsessed with the chicken.
I love the ribolita.
I never eat at Delfina without having the calamari.
The calamari with the white beans.
I can taste it when I talk about it.
The calamari.
I always get the calamari.
There's just something about the balance of flavors in that dish, how perfect the calamari is cooked, the acid, the olive oil, that you see replicated everywhere, and it never tastes as delicious as it does at Delfina.
The hay and straw, without question. It's just so damn good.
I never eat at Delfina without having the spaghetti.
The spaghetti.
It's the spaghetti pomodoro.
Spaghetti.
The pasta.
The pastas are always so delicious and well prepared.
The pappardelle.
The
mashed
warm,
potatoes.
the warm olives.
And the steak frite.
The salmon with corn in a fig leaf.
The panna cotta.
It's like the best panna cotta ever.
Craig is an extraordinary chef, and he has strong opinions about the experience he wants to deliver.
Craig has always tried to put the most fresh ingredients into them.
He's not going to waver. Like, this is it, and you either like it or you don't. And frankly, any great brand stands for something, and this is his product, and this is Annie's product, and yeah, maybe some people don't like it. I don't know who, but it's their production, and it's extraordinary.
When we were building out Delfina, we both still had to work to pay the bills, and I was working as a host and a server at Scala's Bistro downtown. And I worked with some amazing people who, when they were at their tables, seemed very robotic. They were forced to wear bow ties, and they were forced to wear a uniform, and some philosophies are that waiters are supposed to be invisible. I would hang out with these people, whether it was at the wait station or after work, and they had these incredible personalities, and they were very caring people who loved what they did. So when I opened Delfina, I brought some of those people with me, and I said, I want your personalities to show at the table, because I want you to feel comfortable in who you are, and I want you to show our guests who you are, because you're genuinely a wonderful person and not a robot.
That empowerment of the staff was a big part of the Delfina experience, in the sense that it wasn't about a stodgy, sommelier on the floor going through and saying, oh, we'll send over the wine person to talk about the wine. It was empowering every server in the restaurant to be able to communicate with the guest and connect wine and food.
And you feel like every single person you talk to there, you can ask them for a recommendation for a glass of wine, and they can talk about it and really explain to you why this wine is going to be so special. And they really know what they're talking about.
It was such a pleasure to come into a restaurant that cares as much about service as Delfina.
And we really appreciate the staff, the service. It's impeccable. They really pay attention to, they like to say guest as opposed to customer, which right there, it just says it all.
They were able to be comfortable in who they are, so they put the guest at ease because they were at ease, even though they were working really hard.
The training was really intense at the beginning. You know, my food meeting was with Craig, and he went over the entire menu and the history behind everything on the menu. And my wine meeting was with the wine director, and we went over, you know, it wasn't the basics. We went over everything.
When I started at the restaurant was as a fill-in host. Annie said, why don't you just come take these shifts for 3 weeks, and when that's done, we'll figure something out. My first shift there, I'll never forget that she literally spent the entire night just introducing me to people.
She knows how to train people, I think. I mean, or she's got a great eye for hiring.
Annie has a great talent for putting together an amazing front of house staff.
Annie's brilliance is finding people, servers, who were young, engaged, personable, but really knowledgeable.
But there's something about the people that they're the perfect combination of casual, chill, but also so good at their jobs.
I know over the years, the one compliment that I get is that I know how to hire. Everyone says, Annie knows how to hire. Annie knows how to hire. And I do. I meet someone, I see a spark, I know they're a good, caring person who likes taking care of people, and I hire them.
Delfina is the kind of restaurant that serves you very good food in a very casual environment. All the wait staff is fantastic.
It wasn't so much just the fact that she took the time to introduce me to every single person that came in the door, but also that she knew every single person that came in the door.
And everything was just taken very seriously. There was nothing on the menu that we didn't get to taste. There were no wines on the list that we didn't get to try. Everything, they took us as seriously as they took their chefs, which was a revelation for me that didn't happen in other restaurants that I worked at. You were just sort of the person that brought the food to the table.
I love the feeling there. I feel like Annie and Craig make sure that their whole staff is a community so that when you walk in, you feel that community.
It was evident that you had a staff that were talented, they understood not only food and wine, they understood the concept, they understood the owner, they understood the vision.
And I think one of the greatest values, and I told Craig too, and he said it's Annie, is the people that they hire. I mean, I think that is so crucial to the ambiance that they create, the quality of food that they produce, the whole gestalt. It is amazing.
I feel like her attention to the hospitality business is impeccable.
And the service is excellent.
I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's really incredible.
It's the whole. It's a high integrity experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ambiance, the food, the service, everything.
I feel like they really focus and make sure they know that you're not just there for a meal, but you're there for an experience.
The staff you've seen always be really, really skilled in service and knowledge of product, and that is really a testament to what they do in terms of training and in terms of just getting people involved so that it's not just a job. It's really, part of a lifestyle.
For me, it was a really formative experience, besides just never having worked at a restaurant before where it felt like more than just a job. We were really creating something special and being part of something special. It was where I really became a true manager and became a true leader.
There's a comfort in sitting down at Delfina that you know you're going to be taken care of.
I get to know them, and they get to know my family. Now I have 2 grandsons, and they have seen them grow up.
they want to make sure that you leave happy. It isn't about them, it's always about you.
We always find the staff to be super friendly, super engaged, super interesting. You can have a conversation, learn a little bit about them. They seem genuinely interested in who you are. They remember you.
Through the years, and we've got these groups of staff who are really close with each other and who care so much about what they're doing. They care so much about their guests and what they're selling, and they believe so much in Delfina and each other, and they work so well together.
You feel special eating there. You feel like a guest in somebody's home. And I don't think every restaurant does that in an authentic way, and Delfina really does it in an authentic way.
Know a lot about the food, know a lot about the menu, know a lot about the wine list, which is also nice to have people that could actually authentically explain something.
We've had these different incarnations of wait staff and kitchen staff, and all of them have been absolutely incredible. I can't say that any time the wait staff was better than another time. They're always this incredible group of people.
It's always just a great, friendly, kind of welcoming experience, family sort of experience.
And the guests fall in love with the servers as well. They have their favorite servers or servers, and they just get to know them, and it's such an important relationship.
But there's nothing pretentious about it. It feels incredibly real and down to earth, and you never feel uncomfortable there. It's just an incredibly relaxed environment combined with this incredible food.
There's a lot of engagement and there's a lot of kind of warmth. And I think that that's something that has always been part of the service at Delfina, that there's warmth in that very special setting.
So you automatically feel taken care of, but not in a stuffy, stressed out way.
It kind of almost defined, I think, that kind of service in the mission, for that kind of age, that kind of relationship that you would have with servers.
You can always count on walking in and being greeted in a way that just makes you feel at home.
It's been amazing to see how the street has grown up really around Delfina and the property there.
Our neighborhood's become known as a food destination. Tourists come from all over the world. We have people come from all over the city, all over the state, all over the country to 18th Street to try out tartine, to eat at Delfina, to check out
By Right Creamery.
To go to, By Right Creamery
Yes.
open, yeah, to go get ice cream.
They were super pioneers, and I think that they were an anchor to a neighborhood that's now become something, it's always been important in the mission to San Francisco, but I think it brought commerce and it brought jobs and it brought a sense of a food community to this neighborhood that really didn't exist before.
We wanted to open a place that felt like home. We wanted to establish, build a community and build a
warm, genuine place for people to go.
Yeah, that was it.
What makes Delfina so special is you can depend on it. You know exactly what you're going to get when you go in there.
This is the kind of place that
you keep going back.
Consistently, after 20 years, every night is delivering high quality, high service results, which there's something to be said about that.
It's not only the fact that the food is so great, and the amazing thing is the quality of the food has been sustained over 20 years.
It's quite a feat. I mean, we've watched restaurants come and go over the years in San Francisco, and few have managed to maintain the consistency and of both food, atmosphere, everything.
You know that you're going to get a great meal, you're going to get great service.
I love how every single time I go there, it's a guarantee that I'm going to have an amazing meal, and the servers are always just on top of it.
I would have named my child Delfina if we weren't living here. It was that important to us. It is that important to us.
It's like being at home.
Well, it's always felt like home.
It's a part of my home.
Every time I go, I feel like I'm home.
Like I'm at home.
It's an extension of home in my mind.
It's that kind of place where it's a bit like going home.
I think as a family, we've always thought of Delfina as a home.
through serving delicious food and through taking care of people, in terms of service and giving them a really fair pricing.
When you walk into Delfina and you sit down and eat, it's really clear that many of the people around you are regulars. They live in the neighborhood. They know people by name. They're known by name to the staff of the restaurant. You know you're going to be well taken care of. You know the staff's going to make sure everything's perfect. But the food is going to leave you satisfied in every way you want it to.
We know that we're going to have amazing food and be taken care of by some wonderful, wonderful people.
It's a place where I can go and truly feel that I'll walk in, even if I don't know anyone that night in the entire restaurant, that I'll feel comfortable going to, knowing that I'm going to be welcomed, that I'm going to eat a home-cooked meal, have a conversation with someone, even if I don't know them yet.
There is something incredibly special about that feeling. I think it also contributes to that idea that you're eating in somebody's home. It's more than a financial transaction of I'll give you food and you pay the bill. It's we're taking care of our family.
Through a lot of trials and tribulations in our own lives and experiences here in San Francisco for the past 20 years, we've found ourselves at Delfina at the end of a long and crazy day, and it's really always felt like home to us.
It's just a really great place for us to be.
We feel so fortunate to be able to do what we love for 20 years, to have this restaurant for 20 years. It's not because of us that it's there for 20 years. It's because of our incredible staff over all these years and our guests who keep coming back and keeping us in business. And we just are so grateful to San Francisco Dining Public to allow us to do what we love, to continue to allow us to do what we love. And this 20-year celebration is celebrating our guests and all of our staff, past and present. That's what it's about. And we just are so grateful and just want to say thank you to San Francisco for allowing us to do what we love for 20 plus years, and I hope 20 more.
And yeah, I don't know, I can't say much more than that.
I've been here in San Francisco in the Bay Area doing restaurants for almost 40 years, and it's a tough business.
It's hard work. We know we did the work. It is really, really hard work, but it's 100% authentic.
It is not an easy business at all. It's really hard, and it's continually hard. It's not something you just get up and go. Every night the curtain has to open, and then it closes, and we do it again. Every night it's a Broadway show. Every single day, in and out. All the work that gets done, from behind the scenes to the prep till the end of the night, when the last dish is going through.
When you have a restaurant that has stood the test of time, which 20 years is a long time.
Making it to 10 is huge. Making it to 20, I mean, it's true testament to who they are, to the people that work there with them. A great team that they've built.
I think Craig and Annie occasionally underestimate their value in San Francisco. And I don't think a lot of people in San Francisco would be doing what they're doing if Delfina hadn't taken the risk that they did and opened on 18th Street in the Mission when people thought they were totally crazy. And for a restaurant group to be able to feed people the way they've been feeding people for 20 years is amazing. When you look at what the typical lifespan of a restaurant is, to 20 years later still be innovating on the menu, treating people the way that they're treating people, leaving people feeling like, wow, I just had an incredibly amazing new experience at Delfina 20 years after they opened, is so amazing to me. And I think it's a lesson for anyone in this business to really step back and say, this is more than just selling food to people.
It's just a great combination of being a really cozy restaurant with incredible staff. I mean, the people are always so this perfect combination of super cool and hip, but also friendly and professional. And So there's it's a really great environment, and then the food is always incredible.
We loved our guests. Since day one, a lot of them became friends. Not that we ever had time to go out with friends, but it really was like a home. You know, we would see these people sometimes a few times a week, which was really the goal of, we wanted a place where people could come in and a few times a week. But, every night we would say, wow, everyone's so nice. Our guests are so great.
Treating people like they're your family, treating your staff like they're your family, and staying curious about what the food is. And I think Craig is really good at that, which is going to Italy on a regular basis, bringing the things back that he finds, trying to figure out how to introduce guests to new dishes on his menu. And it keeps him excited, and it keeps those of us who eat there really excited. And to me, that just makes the longevity of the restaurant feel like it could go on for a really, really long time.
Everybody loves it. You can take, I can take my parents who are not big foodies. They like food that tastes delicious, but they don't want anything fancy. I can take them there, and my mother can have chicken and mashed potatoes and be happy. And it also appeals to, friends from out of town who are huge foodies and want to eat at one of the hottest restaurants in the city. It appeals to everybody, and that's really, really hard to do. And it's really, really hard to do for 20 years.
Even though it's 3 times the size, and even though it really is a destination restaurant, people come from all over, there is that feel when you're there at Delfina that you're in a familiar face and that you're being fed really well. I think of having eaten at Delfina as like 20 years of kind of pleasure and delight that has been provided to me. What else could you want?
20 years in San Francisco, that is a big, big achievement. It's not for nothing. It's definitely still the best restaurant in the city. Amazing service, the food is always spot on, and there's just a feeling of warmth that is hard to replicate.
The price point is approachable, the food is fantastically good. It's feeling like you're getting a great meal. And I think the ambiance inside has that warmth to it as well.
You can go in and have a plate of spaghetti and a glass of red wine and call it a day, and sit at the bar by yourself and not feel weird. Or you can have a big celebratory meal and have something that's really special. And there just isn't, there aren't very many places like that, not just in San Francisco, but in the world in general, where you can have that kind of experience consistently.
Just the whole feeling in there is where I want to be.
Wherever we go, we try to find a similar restaurant in other parts of the world or other states. And I'm sorry to say it's not possible. We haven't found one that's close enough to the food and service and the environment like Delfina.
To continue to change what they're doing, to respond to what's happening in the world of food, but still feed people in a way that feels as amazing as it does when you walk into Delfina, means that it's a really important part of the San Francisco food scene.
I want to make sure that my gratitude comes across, that I really, really am thankful and really appreciate everybody's passion and effort and really that we know what it takes to do that every single day, every single night.
Delfina is always consistent. The food is amazing. The service is impeccable. It still has that Annie and Craig vibe that they've had since the day the doors opened.
The food really represents more than just food. It represents, community coming together, love, sharing, and I think and know that Annie and Craig have been people that have invested in San Francisco and invested in the food community in a way that I believe has changed the city to a positive.
The love story there, as it pertains to opening up the restaurant, and one that's stood the test of time over 20 years, is phenomenal.
Every single day we feel so lucky. We really do. Every single day we're grateful and feel lucky that we get to do this. We really do. And without people eating in the restaurant and working in the restaurant, we could have all the passion in the world and all the best ideas that there ever were. But it's, without these amazing people executing day in and day out, Delfina would not be. So, yeah, that we.
It's a
really,
labor of love, and we love our guests, and we love all our staff, and we love what we do, and I love you.
I love you too.